It's that time. People start to walk in. That's okay. We're doing toe cars. Point them down. Unsheath your feet. I'll give everyone a moment.
What's up, Norton? Welcome back.
Good to see you guys. Family's asleep. I'm going to be on mute.
Okay.
All right. All good.
I have very little volume control of my own voice, just so you know. In case it gets loud, you might need to turn it down.
Oh, he's got earbuds.
Oh, he's got earbuds? I couldn't see. Great. So I'm going to keep my 4 toes down, and I'm going to just lift my big toe. Anyone who's not familiar with this, we're going to make sure that happens strictly. So you see that my ankles, as I lift my toes, they're not kind of cheating. That's my hips cheating for me. This is just my ankle mostly, like trying to peel off the floor. And you'll see this knuckle come off the ground. Also, if your other toes just can't stay on the floor, you can block them and then make that happen. So we're going to get in our 5 lifts here for the bare minimum. 4 toes down, big toe up and hold, and back down. Is Kyle still coming? And lift and hold.
Yeah, Peter.
And back down. P. Doyle, right?
Ooh, hey, Kyle.
And lift and hold for number 3. We should have the Doyles, yeah. What's up, Peter? And back down. Crazy Pete and Kyle, what's up? And number 4, if I didn't just repeat that, reset. I love that Kathleen's got her coffee. And number 5. Well, I'm assuming coffee. Could be alcohol. I don't know. And then hold your big toe down.
Or water.
I know. I was just making a ridiculous joke. Reset.
Coffee is highly encouraged.
I know. My coffee's right over there. I'm going to make sure my big toe stays down this time. And notice that my ankle, again, is not having any shifting. In this case, normally we would lose a little bit of that arch if you're cheating, right? So your arch is going to stay perfectly still, and you're going to lift the other 4. Anyone who struggles with these, this is your basic homework in order to make your feet kind of baseline strong or develop the muscles on the inside of your feet so that you can start to rebuild your arches if they have collapsed or if you're lacking range of motion in your ankles. A lot of times the midfoot stuff is a big part of that. Those of you that can't reach your knees very far forward like this. You need better feet, better toes, better ankles. So we're getting 4 lifts on the other 4 toes. That's your big toe moving at all. And reset. And then here is number 3. Reset. What's up, Jason? Number 4. What's up, Basilio? Reset. I already know Basilio did his toe homework before he came in, so he's good. And number 5. And reset. And now all toes up. And then we're going to do the opposite. Just tap your big toe and reset. If you can't do that strictly, again, you're going to hook those toes and then tap while holding and hooking them so that they don't cheat with you. Reset. Again, my ankle is not changing shape. You should feel a lot of work here happening in those arches. Reset. That's number 4 for me. Reset. And number 5. And reset. And then we're going to finish off with the spread. Boop, 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 boop. So it's going to be like piano keys, tapping the other 4 down in sequence. And your big toe is not allowed to move. Your whole foot here is not allowed to move at all. If you got to grab your big toe and keep it from happening, that's fine, as long as this first knuckle stays on the ground. Boom, boom. So at your own pace, go for 5 reps. Nice. Is Jason out in the woods with the couch? That's crazy. That looks very nice out there. Damn. So finish off those. And then we're going to go into a little bit of spine work right off the bat. I don't know if anyone else is going to be joining us, but we're going to get right into some of the meat of stuff. So everyone's going to get down the ground. Hopefully you'll have a comfortable position to be on. I want your knees right underneath your hips, and I want that to stay the same the whole time. You're not allowed to migrate forwards or backwards. If you feel that you are the type of person who does that, you might put forward and back with your shoulder blades too. And we're going to try to avoid doing too much of that while we work our spine. So you might do a little bit right now just to remind yourself. You got a message in chat also. Image froze. Oh, I'm catching up then hopefully. Is my image back? Give me a thumbs up if you can see me all right, because someone let us know that we're frozen. I'm back. We back. Camera's getting adjusted. Perfect. So I was asking you guys just to move your shoulder blades a little bit right now to be aware of what it feels like when they're moving, because we're going to try to move everything else without the shoulder blades. And you see how I can really push further. I can fake some of that thoracic flexion with just my shoulder blades moving forward and no change in shape whatsoever happening here. So our goal would be during this movement to make sure that we both avoid shifting forward and backwards and shifting in and out without it being a natural part of you rounding your spine or extending your spine. And you see how I extend my spine and my chest, I'm trying to pull it through and lengthen, but I could cram my shoulder blades together and it feels like I'm doing more. It probably looks more exaggerated on your end too. If you're a dancer or B-boy / B-girl, then moving the shoulder blades makes your spine look like it's moving way more than it actually is. But we're gonna practice just focusing on this and then do what you want later. So I'm gonna start as round as I can. Hold those shoulders down, keep your abs tight, and just pause for a moment and see if you can get more round just by using your breath. I'm gonna exhale harder and hollow out more. Inhale nice and easy. Exhale and try to push to the floor a little bit. I'm not shoving my shoulder blades up or away. I'm just kind of using the floor to help me round my back more. Then we're going to take a moment and start from the very base of your tail or right where your shirt is meeting your pants. And then you're going to start to stick that piece up where you're going to move into extension. So I'm looking at my belly button and I'm going to try to work every vertebrae one by one. Starting from the tail, I'm starting to flex the lowest piece of my spine so I allow what's below my belly button to go towards the ground, but I was kind of trying to hold my belly button away. And then I'm going to drop my belly button down towards the ground, but hold my ribs away. Hollow out still. Keep your abs on, keep gripping the ground, keep your butt squeezed, and then start to drop what's above your belly button. And then start to think about your ribs dropping to the ground, and you're going to slowly articulate your whole spine like a whip or a wave. And you're going to finish with your neck looking up towards the ceiling in as much extension as you can make. And then from here, without allowing your head to move at all, you're going to start from the tail. I want you to try to round your low back. Or what it's going to feel like is you have to kind of pull what's below your belly button in towards the ceiling, and then pull the belly button in, but don't let the ribs come up yet. And then you start to pull up your abs, the top piece right above your belly button, and then your ribs, and just try to make more landmarks in your own mind to help you break up your spine further, because for the most part, none of us are that good at moving our spine. So we have to practice. We have to try to use external cues. There's all kinds of ways. One important way is just give yourself more mental images and break up your spine into more pieces. So we're going to now work for at least another minute and a half. But if you did a really good job, you've done pretty much a minute on the way up and a minute on the way down, or on the way up again. Continue from your tail every single rep. So for someone who's jumping in, I'm going to show just quickly that I want you to move from extension to flexion from the spine. That's Christina, right?
Yes.
And then boom, and boom. So this is me doing it quicker than I want you to, because we skip a lot of pieces when we rush through it. So we want to try to use our own strength to make more pieces move. And we're going to give it another minute right now. Nice. It pretty much looks like everyone's got some room to move around also. Thanks, I got an extra time here. Let's see how those spines are looking. Nice. Everyone who's like perpendicular, that's ideal for us to watch on this movement, but if you can't make it comfortably perpendicular, that's cool. Christina, you're doing great. Cute puppy. We're gonna make sure that our hips are right above our knees. We're gonna finish off in another 15 seconds, try to wrap up whatever piece you're working on.
Armin is in.
Nice. All right, and then we can take a break. That was about 2 minutes of work there. So to continue the theme from last week, we're gonna jump right into something called an S.O.S getup. And you don't need to wait for this, but if you have a light weight, great. If you have something like a shoe or a pad that you can put over your head, even better. But it should be very light, because we're gonna hang out there for a long time. So what works equally well is your imagination. Just pretend you have something over your head. And we're all gonna start off in this position here, up on the elbow. Normally we start off down here on the ground, but just so we're all on the same page and we're clear, we're gonna come right up to here. So those of you that have no idea what a get up is at all, that's cool, we're breaking it down. So my elbow is gonna be under my shoulder here, and I'm gonna take this shoulder, and as part of our mobility, we're gonna do a little good position, bad position. I'm gonna let my shoulder drop forward, and I'm gonna pull it back up, and I'll show you from this angle. Forward, this would be bad position, and this will be good position for this drill right now. So play around with that. My other hand is gonna be above my head. This is bad position on this shoulder. This is good position on this shoulder. Pulling down. So both shoulders are gonna be pulling down and towards each other. And here I am with my right foot planted, my right hand in the air, my left leg is out, and you'll see even that my whole knee is pointing off to the side because I've literally pushed my whole hip off the ground. And so I'm only on my left butt cheek. So here I am with a straight leg, right foot planted, right arm over the head, left elbow underneath. This hand can kind of be on the floor, or you can make a fist. Everyone's here with me nice and clear. Hold the shoulders down. Keep the chest proud without flaring through the ribs. So maybe you can see from this angle that I can really extend through here and exaggerate, and now I'm overdoing it through my lumbar. So we're going to engage that a little bit just by pulling your abs down, and now you should feel like you're doing a little bit of a side plank. Look up at your hand. Now look away from your hand. Did your shoulders shrug as you tried to do that? Because a lot of us, our neck muscles are just so tied up with our shoulder muscles. You're going to hold your shoulders down, and we're going to look back and forth 5 times. Here's number 3 for me. And I already feel like my bottom shoulder just holding me up wants to sag. That was the bad position. Hold your shoulder away from your ear. Push actively in the ground. Keep those ribs on. Look back and forth at your hand and at your other shoulder, your elbow, and at your hand and at your other shoulder and elbow. Nothing should change. And then I want you to go ahead and roll yourself back down. We always teach everyone, use this leg and push yourself away with this arm until you land on this shoulder. And then you can safely hit the floor. I'm not going to hit my head on the kettlebell. Thanks, Melissa. And then go ahead, switch sides. I turned around so you can see me better. And we're going to come up to that elbow again. We're going to double check all the key points. This shoulder here is packed, not up in the ear. This is your chance to play with it. This shoulder on the top, it's stacked. My hand is right over my shoulder, and my shoulder is also packed. This foot here is driving in the ground to keep me on my right hip. Your knee can stack if you want. It can be a little off, no big deal, but you're going to be using that foot. Now the 5 looks. Down and up. This is number 2.
Hey, Christina, you're going to be propped up on your elbow, and it'll be easier to, yeah, nice.
So she bridging? I can't see everyone now. We got enough people in the room that I only see about a third of you. 2/3 of you.
Perfect, awesome.
You finish those 5 reps, and then on the same side, we are going to swap our feet. So you see how I had one leg out and one leg over here? I'm just going to bring my right leg in and step over. So my feet are looking like this now. If you point it down, Luis, real quick. Then I just switched my feet. Everyone can do that? Because now I'm going to be in a little bit of a better position to turn my chest, or really turn my hips and leave my chest here. So try to use this foot to lift yourself up and slide that knee underneath you. And then you're gonna feel this shoulder is really gonna wanna shrug. So we're gonna pull that down. And we're gonna hold here and do 5 more looks. 1 at the hand, 1 down at my elbow. And I'm gonna try to hold this position. Ideally, my knee is right underneath my hips. Here's another angle for that same thing. This foot can be in various degrees of openness, but you're gonna try to keep that knee as open as you can. And then you get your 5 looks. Once I finish my 5 looks, nice and calm, double check your hand is still over your shoulder, Armin. Pack the shoulder down a little more.
Peter's doing it with the kettlebell.
Pete's got a kettlebell?
Awesome.
Nice. Make sure you don't gas out though, should be a light one. And then when you finish, you slide right back to the same position we were in, feet are crossed. And then you swap and lower yourself. And now I'm gonna do my other side. This time we're gonna roll up to your elbow. If you're not great at this point on the first little piece, no big deal. A lot of us have never done it before. From here, remember, we looked around, we checked the shoulders, checked the ribs, switch your feet. Ooh, that was a good view. You guys saw exactly what I did. Here we were, switch it up. Now dig this foot in the ground to bring this knee underneath you. And you're gonna try to spread those knees, which if that's not clear what to do, try to think the opposite of clamping your knees. You gotta push this one away from that one, because I know that your knees are already open, but you gotta spread them harder. And from here, we're doing our 5 looks. You can try to practice breathing into your belly, because we don't need to create a lot of tension, just enough to hold the shoulders down, double check that you aren't shrugging your bottom shoulder, you're not shrugging your top shoulder. My right hand is directly above my shoulder, so those of you with a bell or something light, that helps you to be more aware, but totally not necessary, especially when we're just learning this.
Christina, that bottom leg can come up underneath your hip, so you can rest your body weight on that left knee. Yeah.
I have all my weight on this knee
Yep,
mostly
yep,
and on my
yep.
elbow. When you finish those 5, you slide right back through. Switch your feet again. Still holding ourselves up with this shoulder. I'm gonna go for 5 bridges here. As I bridge my hip up, imagine there's like a string that I've laid along my whole body here, and I'm trying to stretch that string nice and straight.
Hey, Terry.
Feel the glute.
Hey, Terry, sorry. Norton, keep that full foot on the floor and try to grab the floor with your heel.
It finally happened, Norton. You got mixed up with Terry.
I'm so sorry, Norton.
Stretch that front hip here 5 times. Glute, and then you got to work extra hard through that bottom shoulder. Then you can come back down and switch to the other side, and you're going to come back on that elbow. You're going to check the shoulders, and you're going to give me 5 lifts on this side. Picking those hips up, extending the glutes, hacking the bottom shoulder, so that as you lift, there's no shifting happening here. You have to be strong through your armpits here, strong through here. Abs are tight. Lift and squeeze, lengthen that line, bring it back down.
Hey, surface rollers, see if you can turn your chest towards a wall. So you don't want your collarbones to look at the ceiling, you want them to look at the wall.
If I'm turning my chest towards the ceiling too much, you see how I start to lose that shoulder position here? And everyone see my shoulder dunking forward a little bit in an exaggerated way, the McGregor shoulder. So we don't want this. We want big open chest, shoulder stays behind your chest. So I have these nice brown marks here on my shirt so you can see even better. I'm trying to hold this brown stain way back there. Just kidding, it's part of the shirt. So we did our 5. Now you swap the feet and you slide through back to where we were before. And we're gonna drop the knee down.
Peter, watch your wrist with the kettlebell. It's bending back. I need you to keep it more flexed.
Keep your wrist more straight there, Peter. Don't let it break backwards like the wrist lock in the wrong way. Either way, actually, is the wrong way. Here I am with both knees down. This feels like the dog fight if you do jiu-jitsu and you're familiar with that half guard position. Now you're going to do your looks, the 5 looks of the dog fight. Down and up. That sounds like an ancient story, right? Give me the 5 looks. This might be pretty challenging for you to hold this position.
Keep the shoulders away from the ears.
Yes.
Everybody's shoulders just wants to poke up on I'm seeing on the videos.
Don't let them shrug. Pulling them down while you're getting your looks in. You finish your 5 looks, and then you pick yourself up back where you came from. You slide yourself through again. Your feet should be crossed. And then you uncross your feet, and you roll yourself down. You can shake your arm out, and then we go to the other side. And we go through the same story. The 5 looks of the dog fight. Switch your feet, pull your knee underneath, boom. Opening the knees, squeezing the glutes to achieve that. My hand is still right over my shoulder. Then I bring my knee down to the ground, getting a big twist through my spine. I want my low back to be turning towards the floor, but my chest to stay turning towards my belt. And then the 5 looks. 1, 2. Take nice deep breaths. Should feel nice and twisty. I feel my bottom shoulder trying to shrug up. I'm battling hard. You can adjust if you need to, if that's going to help you feel your armpits on more, but you might just need to practice this position a whole lot more before you're ever really feeling in total control of your shoulders. When you finish those 5 looks, you can come up to your hand. Once you're at your hand, you're just going to come right back down your elbow. Then you're going to transition. I like to turn this foot out. I'll slide it out a little more so that I can turn my knee up. Nice and smooth. Shoulder stays down. Slide through. Your feet are crossed. Swap them. Boom, boom. And then, holding that chest proud, you're going to push yourself away to the floor. Using that leg. Switch to the side. Up to the elbow. Boom. Packing the shoulder. Let's all get up on that elbow. Swap of the feet. Open up that knee. Now my knee's underneath me. Elbow's still on the ground. Then both knees come to the ground. Woo, great twist. Take a nice breath. Pack the shoulders. We did our 5 looks. Then this hand, you can kind of swivel and press up through it. Packing the shoulders again. If I had a heavy bell over my head, then this would be the time to finally come up. Boom, and then we can stand up and do the rest of our get up. But for now, we're just going to leave it here, the hardest parts of the whole thing. Lucky Dara, who I know thinks the last part's the hardest. But all this twisting must be real good for you, right, Dara? So you're going to get your 5 looks to finish off, but that's the basics of our S.O.S. get up. Oh, my hand was totally migrating down while I was talking to you. So reach that hand up to the sky. I have to push through the bottom arm to help me turn my chest. And my knees are still on the ground. And I'm reaching and turning. And then at the same time, my neck is controlled separately. Get your 5 looks in there. And then what you're going to do is come down to your elbow. I know a lot of you just bail right out of there. You're like, I'm ready to get up. That's cool. But let's practice. Turn my knee out. So my knees are on the ground. I'll take my foot. I'll move it where I have to so I can kind of prop my knee up. Slide my feet together. They're crossed. And then swap and lower yourself. And then last one on the other side. And get way away so everyone can see me. Boom. Up to the elbow. Stay on the elbow. Switch to the feet. Use this foot here like that bridge and pull your knee underneath you. Did your shoulders shrug as you did that? Mine almost did. And then I said, nope. Lats back on. Armpit muscles on. Bring the knee down. Turn the hips without the chest. Check your shoulders again. Eyes on your imaginary kettlebell. It should be right over your shoulder. Now, push through your hand and come up to this crazy windmill position. From here, we're still dogfighting.
Thanks, Kyle.
Good to see you, Kyle. Give me your 5 looks again. Take your time, pack the shoulders. Try to really use your hand in the ground to twist your chest without your hips. And then move your neck separately. That's 4 for me. Here's 5 for me. If you want to feel it, you can take a little break. In a full S.O.S. get up, we would bring our knees together, and then we would step up opposite foot, and we stand straight up. But for now, we're going to keep our knees nice and wide and you do your hinge back to the floor. And you should have nice stacking action as best you can. Bring your elbow to the ground. Migrate out if you have to. Chest is still all turned. Toes can adjust to bring the knee up. Slide through. Chest is proud. Shoulders are down. Did your ribs flare just now? Hold those ribs down. Remember, switch to the feet. And then lower yourself to that last piece. Get control the whole way. And all the way back to the ground. Take a moment to see how you feel after about 10 minutes of doing some Turkish get-up work. Your shoulders should feel a lot different than before. The version of the Turkish get-up that we were working on is specifically built to pry on your T-spine a lot more and to put you into a little bit different positions. But the full get-up, a normal get-up, a Turkish get-up, that one also does a lot for your T-spine and for your shoulders. But we were talking a lot about this. We were forced to twist a whole lot in those positions. We were trying to dissociate our neck from that whole business. So everything should feel a lot better upstairs, hopefully. And if you're doing some work through your legs and making sure you're trying to keep those knees apart and everything too, you might even feel a little bit more open through the hips. We're gonna bang out a little bit more of some cars and such, some of the usual FRC type mobility training, and then a lot of us have to go right to jiu-jitsu training. So let's see what we can bang out in these last 4 minutes or so. First, what we're gonna begin with, let's go ahead and all lay on our side. And try to draw me the biggest circle you can with the tip of your knee. I'm gonna lock my foot down the ground. I'm gonna use my hands on the floor this way or this way. And then I'm just gonna try to draw a nice big circle by bringing my knee up to my chest, out towards my armpit. I'm gonna internally rotate and extend my hip, squeezing my glutes, keeping my abs on, draw my knees together, and then do the same thing going the other way. So I'm just gluing myself to the floor, opening those hips, and I'm trying to imagine I have a pencil on my knee, and I'm going to use that pencil to draw the biggest circle I can. So knee yourself in the chest.
Can you get closer?
Knee yourself.
Thanks for joining us, Christina.
Nice to see you again, Christina. Have a great weekend. Keep your knee close to your body as you bring it up to your chest. Open it out as far as you can to the armpit. Then donkey kick back. Abs are on. Glutes are squeezing. Reach back. And then same thing going the other way. So nothing up here touching the floor should really change. I'm holding my trunk steady. I'm leaning forward into it a little bit so I don't want to fall back. My leg is in the ground pressing. We have another 20 seconds here. Maybe that's one more, kind of semi-rushed, but still good rep. Slow down, Armin. And then opening out. And then back. And it's almost like I could touch my foot first, but then I switch it. And then roll over to the other side. Let's see the same thing. So again, it's like I have a pencil sticking out this point of my knee here. And I'm going to try to scrape it along the floor. Open it out first. Notice how I'm leaning forward and grabbing onto the ground. I have no more room. I switch to internal rotation. Squeeze my butt into extension. My spine really wants to jump in and help. But I'm going to keep it out of the party. And then kick back and do the same thing going the other way. Open, abs are tight. Bring it towards my armpit, into my chest, and then repeat. We still got another 20 seconds. Wrap up that rep. Back into your quadruped. We're running out of time. We got a minute left. For some of you who are going to jump right into jiu-jitsu. Maybe don't tell Eduardo, but be a minute late because we're going to do 1 minute per side on your shoulders. So we're just going to floss the full range now. You're going to swivel inward as you reach back. Elbow nice and straight. And then go the other way. Reaching up and around. And we're going to do 1 minute per side. And that will have covered a whole lot of bases in these 30 minutes because that S.O.S get up is really big bang for your buck even with no weight. Hopefully you guys are feeling that. And then the real purpose of these cars is to get into every corner that you wouldn't normally get into. We wouldn't put a weight back here in our shoulder in this range all twisted up. So we explore it with no weight because sometimes the weight of your arm is plenty, right? Especially if you're still tipping away. Those of you who feel, I saw Armin just adjusted, very nice. Like if you feel yourself twisting away, that's your spine trying to help your circle, but there's no need. I want to see what your circle looks like truly coming from just your ball and socket. So finish off that side, let's switch to the other side. I like to use my free hand to hug my ribs down and make sure nothing shifts through here, and then draw me the biggest circle you can. We get to see diagnostics for you, even if you don't feel the diagnostics. If you pay attention to how it feels and do it really regularly, you should have awesome information like a journal, a mental journal every day, and a physical one that you're feeling for how your joints are doing and what you should or shouldn't be doing that day for helping them get better or training them, right? And then if you want to communicate with someone, you have a lot of information to tell them what your shoulder's feeling. See you, Dara.
See you, Dara.
See you, Dara.
We still have about 15 more seconds. And then we get to watch you also. We can tell a lot just by the way your cars look. So if you give us a good view, it helps us a lot. So we're drawing a big circle. I see the surface dweller teaching someone. So we're trying to avoid that shoulder blade shrugging at all. I think he's explaining that for her too, right? But we're done with this minute. I know some of you got to get going. Go ahead and sign off if you got to go to jiu-jitsu practice with Ralph Gracie Berkeley. Any of you who wants to stick around for one more drill, I'm going to do some spine cars with everyone. Kathleen's like, oh, so full spine cars. Kathleen, do it on your own if you want. That's cool.
Great to see you, Peter.
The last thing I'm going to do, especially because I got RJ and some people, see you, is have a pencil sticking out the center of my chest and try to draw the biggest circle I can with that. So any lower body posture works fine. I'm going to even stand up and go back here for those of you that are standing. Bend the knees a little, squeeze the butt, and then round your back like we did in the cat-cow. Then twist, lean, extend, twist the other way, lean, come into flexion. Same thing, going the other way. So trying to move in these three planes. I'm in flexion and I rotate. I keep rotating and I lean. I keep leaning and I extend. I keep extending as I twist. Keep twisting as I lean. Keep leaning as I extend. Or as I flex now. And then draw me one more good circle per direction, and that would have been about a minute of work. I like that Jason's hugging that pillow using some extra irradiation. Those of you that are standing, I want you to envision your pelvis as like a bowl of soup, and you can't spill either way. So you want your soup bowl to be level. You're going to do a little glute squeeze, a little pelvic tilt, and hold it there, and then you're going to work. You're going to feel your tail want to stick out, but then you're pouring water forward or soup forward, right? So you're going to hold that steady. Just finish off one per direction, and then Melissa and I are going to go do some jiu-jitsu. Maybe we can convince Luis to get his pajamas on for the gi training. And it was great to see all your faces again. We really enjoy when we can help you guys move a little bit, even for just 30 minutes. It always feels crammed, but give us your feedback and stuff too whenever you can, because we're here for you guys. And have a great Saturday. Good to see you, RJ. Good to see you, Jason. Yeah, we'll keep talking.
Thank you so much, coaches.